Ever get that feeling where you really want to dive deep into something new, really wrap your head around it, but then you see the mountain of articles, the stack of books. Ugh, it's daunting.
It can be, yeah, a real roadblock.
Totally. So think of this as our little shortcut. We're going to blaze a trail straight through the heart of overland travel in Australia. Buckle up for a deep dive into what makes it tick, why it matters.
Exactly. We're talking navigating Australia's most remote landscapes, untamed. And we've got a great mix of stuff to dig into, articles, firsthand stories. They really bring it to life.
I mean, just picturing it, right? These vast, rugged landscapes stretching out forever, sunsets that'll blow your mind. That's the outback calling out to you. But it's more than pretty pictures, isn't it? The sources we've got, they make that clear.
Oh, absolutely. Forget your leisurely Sunday drive. This is about pushing limits, facing down challenges, being totally self-sufficient. It can get extreme. The planning has to be meticulous. But that seems to be the very thing that draws people in.
Makes sense. That chance to really test yourself, grow, and to connect with nature on a whole other level. You don't get that everywhere. That sense of freedom, it's precious.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is that this isn't some new trend, overland travel in Australia. It's woven into the very fabric of the country.
Deep roots, yeah.
Deep roots. The Aboriginal peoples, they were the original explorers, the first to truly understand this land, this intricate knowledge of the ecosystems, the resources, the sacred sites. It's been passed down for generations. Incredible.
Humbling, isn't it?
Totally. Then, fast forward a bit, 19th, early 20th century, you've got European explorers stepping onto the scene, heading into the unknown.
Yeah.
The hardships they faced, unimaginable. These early expeditions were brutal, but they laid the foundation for everything that came after.
Yeah, those pioneers. Speaking of which, the Burke and Wills expedition, 1860. Tragic ending, sure, but it still captivates people. What was its real impact, though, on how overland travel developed?
You know, what strikes me is how that expedition, even in its failure, really captured the imagination, became a cautionary tale. It highlighted the importance of planning, of respecting and learning from Aboriginal knowledge, and the sheer power of nature. It was a brutal lesson, shaping how people approach the outback from that point on.
You don't mess with the outback.
Not if you want to make it back in one piece. Then a bit later, 1870s, you've got the Overland Telegraph Line. That was a game changer, wasn't it?
Huge! Connected the country.
No.
But how did it open up the outback specifically?
Well, think about it. Before the telegraph, the outback was this isolated, disconnected place. Communication was almost impossible. The telegraph changed all that. Suddenly, there was a link, a lifeline. And that made it feel less daunting. People started seeing possibilities, not just dangers.
So it wasn't just explorers anymore.
Exactly. It paved the way for new settlers, new industries. The outback started feeling more like a part of Australia, less like a separate world.
And then there's Len Beadle. Our sources call him the last true Australian explorer. That's a powerful title. What did he actually do to earn that?
Len Beadle, he's legendary. Mid-20th century, him and his team, they built over 6,000 kilometers of roads through some of the most remote, unforgiving parts of Australia. I mean, that's like driving from New York to LA and back twice.
Yeah.
And this wasn't just rough tracks. This was meticulous surveying, creating routes where none existed before. He literally paved the way for so much of the modern overland travel we see today.
Incredible. A real visionary.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got some historical context. Now, onto the outback itself. The sources mention some pretty mind-blowing stuff, like the air highway, the longest straight road in the world. Seriously.
It's true. It's insane, right? 90 miles or 145 kilometers across the Nullarbor Plain. Not a single turn. And the Nullarbor itself, it's this massive, flat, arid expanse. No trees, nothing. It's just endless horizon. You get a sense of the scale of the outback driving that road.
Wow, it's like something out of a movie.
Yeah, a really long movie. And then there's the Simpson Desert, the largest parallel sand dune system in the world. What does that even look like?
Picture this. Hundreds of sand dunes, all running in the same direction, stretching for miles and miles. 170,000 square kilometers. It's a sight to behold, but also an incredibly challenging landscape to navigate.
Oh, I bet. Not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not. But the outback isn't just vast landscapes. It's got its own unique culture, its own rhythm. Like the Birdsville races, have you heard of those?
I've heard the name, yeah. What's the deal?
So it's this annual horse racing event held in this tiny remote town. People come from all over, some driving for days just to be there. It's as much about the journey as the race itself.
Wow. And then there's the Big Red Bash, a music festival
Yeah.
in the middle of the Simpson Desert.
That's the one. Thousands of people rocking out in this incredible setting. It's a testament to the spirit of the outback, that anything is possible.
I love that. So we've talked about the history, the landscapes, the culture, but how has overland travel itself evolved in Australia? The sources actually lay out a pretty clear timeline. As we said, Len Beetle's road construction in the 50s was massive, opened up so much of the country.
Right, access was key.
Absolutely. Then in the 60s and 70s, you get the rise of the 4WD. That was revolutionary. Suddenly, people could go places they'd never been able to before. Rocky tracks, sand dunes, river crossings. The 4WD made it all possible.
It's like the outback's version of the Wild West.
Huh, in a way, yeah. And then you've got the 80s and the gray nomads.
Ah, yes, the gray nomads. That's such an Aussie thing.
It is. Retirees hitting the road in their caravans, exploring the country at their own pace. It made overland travel accessible to a whole new group of people, not just hardcore adventurers anymore.
And then technology enters the picture. GPS, satellite phones.
Huge impact. Made navigating these vast distances much safer. You could call for help if you needed it, which out in the outback you might. So more people felt confident venturing out.
Safety in numbers, or at least safety in technology.
Exactly. And now, in recent years, we're seeing a whole new wave of interest, especially from younger people. It seems like there's this yearning for authentic experiences, for disconnecting from the digital world, for connecting with nature. And the Outback offers all of that in spades.
That makes sense. It's like a counter movement to all the noise and distractions.
Yeah, a chance to reset, to reconnect with something bigger than yourself.
So if someone's listening to this and they're thinking, okay, I'm intrigued, what's the takeaway?
The biggest takeaway is that overland travel in Australia is about so much more than just getting from A to B. It's a journey of self-discovery. It's about experiencing the country's diverse landscapes, its history, its culture. From the ancient wisdom of the Aboriginal people to the stories of the explorers and the modern-day adventurers, it's all there, waiting to be discovered.
And for those of us who aren't planning an outback adventure anytime soon, is there still something in all this for us?
You know, what I find fascinating is the idea that we can take inspiration from the spirit of overland travel, that willingness to embrace the unknown, to challenge ourselves, to push our boundaries. We can apply that to any aspect of our lives, whether it's trying something new, facing a fear, or just being more open to new experiences.
It's about that mindset, isn't it? The spirit of adventure.
Exactly. That's something we can all cultivate wherever we are.
Love that. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of overland travel in Australia, we've covered a lot of ground. From the historical roots to the breathtaking landscapes, the unique cultural events, the evolution of the adventure itself.
It's been a journey.
It has, and it leaves us with a final thought to ponder. Even if the vast Australian outback remains a distant dream, what might we gain by simply embracing that same spirit of exploration and resilience in our own lives? Perhaps it's about recognizing the unknown wherever we encounter it and seeing the potential for adventure, for learning, for wonder in every corner of our world.
Food for thought, definitely.
That's what we aim for.